Hey everyone, GuardianE here with, I guess, what would be a second look and live reaction to the new trailer for the Choose Your Legends banner that's going to be hitting in just a few short days for the next set of Brave units in the game. Now, of course, we've already gotten a pretty involved sneak peek at these units from Pherae during the Pherae channel earlier this month, so a lot of this is probably going to be rehash, a little bit of a reveal since we don't have a full idea of some of the unit's particular skills, namely Micaiah's B skill is still a big unknown, but for the most part, unless they throw us curveballs from the last reveal of these units, we know what skills they're going to have and what stats they're going to have in the game. So to that end, I'm going to actually link the original reaction to the original reveal of the characters from earlier this month, just so I'm not repeating myself for those of you who are probably sick of hearing me ramble on and on about these weapons. So this is really going to be more or less just a once-over, a look-through, and an opportunity to kind of take a closer look, I guess, after the dust is sort of settled and the hype is settled a little bit, what this banner will be able to offer you and whether or not you should be pulling on it. Now, there's also the chance that we may be getting some additional information with respect to the Tempest Trial Plus that should be coming with the banner, and whether or not we're going to be getting a new hidden unit given to us for free from that Tempest Trial, or if it's going to be a rerun unit. Perhaps the trailer will shed some light on that as well. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it and take a look at the trailer for the first time. Alright, here it is. Let's get this party started. New Heroes, Brave Echoes. And there they are. Look at all of them. The new heroes are joining the battle. Women's Division, second place, Light of Nohr. Certainly does. Certainly does. Alright, Sand Greeter, Restore Plus, Attack Speed, Push 4, Wrathful Staff, and Attack Tactics. So yeah, all of the same things that we saw in the Pherae trailer, or the Pherae channel, I should say. So no surprises here. Okay, Restore. Okay, Men's Division, second place, Marquess Pherae.
Everything has finally been settled. I am to succeed my father as Marquess Pherae.
Marquess. Okay. Yep. Ninus's Iceland, yep, Swift Sparrow 3, Ruse, Speed Opening. We'll take a closer look at that skill. And of course he's got that effective damage against both beasts and dragons. Look at that. Those big numbers. Okay, so Women's Division, first place, Queen of Dawn, with her Yoon stand behind her, Micaiah. Okay, Flying Tome User. Got that Ground Orders ready. And we're going to see Yoon's Whispers is her B slot. So we will see... Okay, looks like a debuff, which makes perfect sense in line with her weapon. We'll take a closer look at that on the replay, naturally. But yeah, she's got that effective damage against both cavalry and armor, which makes her a very enticing choice. And we've got Imperial Ascent, Alm himself, in his signature armor. Oh, I like how his sword is glowing. I'm sure they showed that before. I must have missed it. So Send Scale, Threat and Attack Speed 3. Definitely want to take a look at the evolution of the Threaten skills because they've long since been pretty underwhelming. Oh god, that damage. Alright, Paralog Story, Brave Echoes. We'll be able to pause here and take a look. Well, let's just let it run. Nope. Okay, no surprises there as far as the map is concerned. So didn't get a reveal or a startling reveal of a new character that's going to be sneakily snuck in during the Tempest Trial Plus, so we don't know still how the format is going to yield us a new character, if it is going to yield us a new character, but at the very least we know that the Paralog Story is going to feature these 4 characters. Alright, so no real surprises there. Choose Your Legends 3, the banner named Brave Echoes, is coming on the 16th, so get those orbs ready. We'll go ahead and rewind, take a closer look at some of the skills that we weren't able to touch upon the first time around, just to take a closer look and see what they have to offer. Alright, so new heroes join the battle. Of course, we've got Camilla here up front as the second place women's. Light of Nohr, looking great here. I do love the art that was done by Kozaki. Misty Lee, of course, reprising her role. And we'll pause here, take a quick look. So Sangreether is the staff that we all saw during the Pherae channel itself. Essentially a Gravity Plus with a built-in dazzling effect and a kind of a Swift Sparrow 1.5, so to speak. So on the one hand, I do lament, I do sort of wish that the staff had a completely new effect, something new that we'd never seen before, because that would be obviously very interesting and unique, a new toy to play with, right? So I can certainly see some middling disappointment in that arena, but that said, it's very focused in what it does. It combines the best pieces of what you would expect out of an offensive staff and puts them all in one nice, neat, cohesive package. She also comes with Restore Plus, which is definitely one of the best healing skills in the game. Hands down, it restores 50% of her attack as HP with a minimum of 8 HP, and it also neutralizes the penalties of allies. So things like Panic and Threaten and negative status effects that last through their next action. And this is something that we're seeing everywhere. Debuff Central is what Ether Raids is. And Restore Plus is going to make your life a whole heck of a lot easier. And not just there, of course, in Arena, in Abyssals. I mean, there are debuffs absolutely everywhere. Having somebody that has Restore Plus on your team is going to be a huge, huge boon. Attack Speed Push 4 is the new skill that we saw during the Fate channel. It's a remarkable evolution of the push skills, I gotta say. It was hard to justify using the push skills without a certain setup or a specific setup, but this evolution of the push skills is actually a huge advancement. At the start of the combat, if the unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed plus 7, but after combat, if unit attacked, deals 5 chip damage to that unit. So certainly the actual condition is far more lenient. You're looking at having at least 25% of your health is really not all that difficult at all. The amount of boost that you get to your stats is absolutely phenomenal at plus 7 to attack and speed. And again, that's on both player and enemy phase. You want to keep, bear that in mind. And then after combat, you get a 5 damage tick to your HP. We know what Camilla's HP stat is going to be, at least by default without merges. And I think it should be around 39 or so. Don't quote me on that because I'm kind of just running that off of memory. But if memory serves, what that means is that essentially without any healing effect whatsoever, any self-sustain, then she can use or activate or meet the condition of attack speed push for up to 4 or 5 times without having to worry about it or having to, again, heal herself in any way. So that's actually pretty good, and for most skirmishes, that's really all you need. So again, this push skill is actually phenomenal. And again, it's an offensive stat boosting A-slot skill that you can use on Cleric, so that's why she has it, and it fits her kit perfectly. Wrathful Staff for the B-slot, you're not going to see a ton of variation with this because obviously Wrathful Staff is going to allow her to do normal damage, and being an offensive Cleric, that is what she wants to do. And Attack Tactic 3 for the C-slot at start of turn grants attack plus 6 to allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn, granted only if number of allies movement type on the current team is less than or equal to 2. I'm personally not in love with the selection for her C-slot skill. I think they could have given her Speed Tactic if they wanted to, which is a little bit more rarer of a tactic skill currently, or they could have given her something else entirely. Honestly, the tactic skills, they're fine, they're pretty good, but it's not like they're especially rare, and I feel like there are certainly better choices for her as an offensive Cleric, and I think that's going to get, even if you're running hybrid teams, I really don't know if it's the best choice for her. So let's keep going. Alright. Yeah, and the 39 HP is right there. Okay. Okay. That Restore Plus in action. So here we are, the Marquess Pherae.
I am to succeed my father as Marquess Pherae.
Okay, so we did talk about this weapon at length during the Fate channel itself, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But again, that dual effectiveness, I think, is what really carries this weapon. Rally Attack Defense Plus for the assist, grants attack and defense plus 6 to ally target for 1 turn. That's okay. Swift Sparrow 3 is going to be his A-slot. Again, I had some reservations about Swift Sparrow 3. Being his A-slot, it's a fantastic A-slot skill, don't get me wrong. But just, again, in line with his kit and the fact that the rest of his stats get boosted by the Ice Lance. His B-slot skill, Attack Speed Ruse 3. Okay, so if Rally Assist skill is used, so this is why he has the Rally skill, is used by unit or targets, unit grants, or inflicts, I should say, attack speed -5 and guard on foes in cardinal directions of unit and target through their next actions. Guard inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on target per attack during combat through its next action. Okay, so Cardinal Direction debuff. We've seen the ruse skills, and they're pretty interesting. The additional guard effect is nice as well. A whole host of debuffs to two of the most important offensive stats, of course, attack and speed. I do think that it's a little situational, as all of these are, and it does create some interesting and unique strategies. Definitely will be fun to play with. I don't know if it's the best choice for his B slot skill. It's a very competitive slot. Speed opening 3 for his C slot at start of turn grants speed plus 6 to ally with the highest speed for 1 turn. Pretty good map-wide buff. That's never a bad thing. Basically, the equivalent of the anti-chill, I guess you could call it almost, because the chill is a map-wide debuff to the highest of a respective stat. So let's keep going. Okay. And then this effective damage on this Fafnir. Okay. So here we are with Micaiah. I think the one that everybody was kind of waiting for the reveal.
It is my duty to defend it as the precious place it is.
And she looks great here. Of course, and Yoon kind of looming behind her as well. Alright, so let's pause and take a look. So Light of Dawn as her weapon, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if you want, I guess, a deeper dive into each of these weapons, we talk about it on the Faye channel reaction video. But basically, dual effectiveness is going to be a huge boon for her against armored and cavalry, just like all Micaiahs have. That innately built in. And then the rest of the effect is really very similar to the mythic hero Yoon, in that she kind of doubles up on the penalties on her opponent, basically any debuffs that are on her opponent, which is what led a lot of us to speculate that her B slot skill is going to involve debuffing the enemy. Alright, so Sacrifice for the assist converts penalties on target into bonuses. Okay, that is nice. I don't know, I mean, it doesn't seem as though that relates also to Panic. I'm not positive if that relates to Panic as well. But at least for debuffs and map-wide debuffs and things like that, it seems like this is going to be an inverse of that. Will basically convert them into bonuses, which is always nice. Restores HP to target equal to unit's current HP minus 1. Reduces unit's HP by amount restored. Okay, so basically she can't kill herself, is what it's saying. I mean, she can restore any ally around her and refill their health all the way up to the amount of total health that she has, minus 1, which is a little bit dangerous. I don't know how much HP she has. I can't remember from the stat lines that were provided and that were extracted from the Faye channel, but I can't imagine she has that much health. And if she doesn't have that much health, then that's a little bit dangerous if she's hanging out with some, you know, high HP armors out there and she's using Sacrifice to replenish their health. But nevertheless, it's a very, very useful assist. For Attack Res Bond 4, if unit is adjacent to an ally, grants Attack Res plus 7 to unit and neutralizes unit's penalties to Attack Res during combat. We did talk about this. I think it is a wonderful, wonderful progression of the Bond skills. Yoon's Whispers for the B slot. Okay, got that little bird icon there. It's pretty cute. At start of turn, if any foe's res is less than or equal to unit's res minus 3, and that foe is adjacent to another foe, inflicts attack speed minus 6 on that foe through its next actions. Okay, so it is going to be a map-wide debuff with a condition of being adjacent to an ally, and then she has some monstrous res, so essentially it's going to be pretty easy for her to proc this against a lot of units out there, especially those that are kind of front-loaded on attack and speed, right? You want to kind of think about this in the context of, certainly there are balanced heroes out there in terms of stat lines, but more often than not, if you have a unit that is really front-loaded on attack and speed, usually that means they're taking a pretty big hit to their res or their defense. So, in light of that, you know, those units are probably going to have a res that's lower than Micaiah's, which will let her at least meet that condition, and then as long as they're adjacent to a foe, which at least the enemy AI loves to clump together as they're moving forward. So you're not going to have a huge issue with forcing the enemy AI into being adjacent to one another. And then in Ether Raids, of course, there are ways to kind of force your opponent into clumping together, or forcing them in claustrophobic situations that would force them next to an ally. So yeah, there are two conditions here, but two conditions that I probably aren't going to be all that difficult to meet. And you're looking at a minus attack speed of 6 which is going to be further enhanced by her Light of Dawn. So yeah, pretty much what I was expecting as far as a map-wide debuff, something, not exactly something that we've never seen before. I mean, it is something that we haven't seen before. We haven't certainly seen this exact combination of effects, but it's not too dissimilar to other sort of map-wide debuffs that we've seen. So it's excellent. It's great for her. It perfectly synergizes with her Light of Dawn, which is something that you would expect. So I think it's a great addition, and it's a very, very powerful skill. Ground Orders 3 for the C slot. It kind of reinforces her being a hybrid or a flyer that's intended to be used on a hybrid team. At start of turn, grants the following status to adjacent infantry, armored, or cavalry allies. For one turn, ally can move adjacent to any ally within 2 spaces. I'm sorry, the timeline, the YouTube timeline is cutting into that so you can't read it, but that's what it says, is that basically it grants the ability for a non-flyer, so to speak, that enables them to teleport next to an ally that is within 2 spaces of them, basically enhancing their mobility, which really further reinforces that I would have liked to have seen air orders on Camilla, just because attack tactic really just isn't, it's just really not that special. Okay, well, this is a phenomenal kit. I mean, I think this is kind of what we were expecting. Before we knew what her B slot was, I think Micaiah was really probably one of the front runners for free-to-play choices or free-to-play guides going forward. I think a lot of people were picking her largely because of the fact that she's a flying mage and the armored and cavalry effectiveness alone. Yoon's Whispers is going to synergize perfectly with her Light of Dawn, so I don't see those people being swayed by not picking Micaiah because of the reveal of the B slot. I don't think much has changed on that front. So let's keep going. Cool attacking effect. I do like it. And of course, the armor effectiveness in action. Alright, so first place men's division is Alm with his scary, scary, scary Sen scale. So let's take another look. Alright, so he's got his Draco falchion. We talked about this at length during the Fate channel, so I'm not going to really go into it too much here. It is a dragon effective weapon, and it does have a buff to Alm's stats based upon the number of allies versus number of foes that are around him. So Sen scale, Alm's unique A-slot skill, we did talk about this as well during the Fate channel, but I think it bears mentioning again. It has a very unique effect. It deals damage equal to 25% of his attack. So it's essentially just shy of a Draconic Aura every single time, in presumably what is fixed damage. We don't know that 100%, or true damage, I should say, not fixed damage. But after combat, he gets a 7 damage tick to himself. If this works how people are anticipating it works, and I think a lot of people lament the fact that Alm is an infantry sword unit, which really just isn't that interesting in the game as it currently stands. But honestly, I gotta say that Sen scale alone, if it works the way that I think that it works, makes him essentially as interesting of a sword infantry unit that they could make. And the reason why I say this is because, yeah, you have sword infantry units that go out there, deal tons of damage, are super fast, Myrmidons, all that jazz. I get it. What potentially separates Alm is that if Sen scale does true damage, and true damage means that if a unit was essentially doing 0 damage to an opponent because the defense was too high, color advantage and everything else into effect, basically their total attack damage was less than the enemy's defense, so you're basically you're dinging, you're doing 0 damage. True damage will inflict no matter what. So even if you would have normally done 0 damage, the true damage will still do whatever the damage was from the calculations. So things like Wrath do true damage, Carla's weapon does true damage. So if Sen scale does true damage, 25% of his attack, I mean, Alm already has a monstrous attack stat, you can definitely boost that up, and you can easily get Sen scale to do, essentially, if it does do true damage, up to like 15 to 20 true damage per hit. If you let him double on an opponent, that's 30 to 40 true damage on an opponent alone, not including the actual raw damage that he does. And what that essentially means is that it doesn't matter if your unit has 100 defense on a defense tile and is blue. If he's doing true damage and he's just going to do straight up 40 damage to your armor that's planted there, they could still just die. So that's a little bit unique. Again, if it works the way that I think that it works, and we'll probably have to wait for the data mine and for people to experiment to actually figure out if it really does do true damage or not. But, again, what that essentially means is that even though Alm is an infantry sword unit, he's basically an all-in-one infantry anything killer. I mean, anything with high defense, he can basically melt through with true damage, if that's true. Chill Defense 3 for the B slot. Chill skills are never a bad choice for the B slot. I think for him, though, if he's really doing true damage, he doesn't really care what the enemy's defense is, so to speak. So I don't know if he really even needs the Chill Defense. So it's easily swappable for something else if that's the case. All right, so I'm very curious about this. So Threaten Attack Speed 3. Let's take a look at this. So at start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of a foe, grants attack speed +5 to unit for 1 turn, and inflicts attack speed -5 on foes within 2 spaces through their next actions. Okay, so that is very, very interesting. It's reminiscent of Surtur's ability just a little bit because the same sort of effect, right? If he's planted in front of an enemy within 2 spaces, he gets himself a buff, and he inflicts a debuff on them. I mean, so that it's very similar to that, although Surtur's, I think, is for all 4 of his stats rather than just 2. But, I mean, this is perfect. I mean, I think it's a very, very strong... It's essentially creating a deviation of 10 stats when you're inflicting Threaten on somebody. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of something that the Threaten skills really needed. If not more, to be completely honest. Because as they currently stand, Threaten skills can be used, but there's a ton of overlap with other abilities that are out there and other debuffs that are out there. The numbers themselves, as far as debuffs are concerned, really just aren't that remarkable. And the condition, you don't really get rewarded for the condition as much as you really should. And then further, obviously, there's the sacrifice of the C slot, which is slowly growing in terms of just amazing abilities that you can slot in that C slot as support skills for either your team or the unit itself. So I definitely think that this will put Threaten skills back on the map for sure as usable and powerful, especially for soloists, units that will just kind of go out there and do their thing. You put this on a unit that takes full advantage of solo skills and wants to be out there alone on the battlefield, and I think you're going to see some great results. So, and of course, Alm does fit that archetype as well. So, yeah, no, I think that works perfectly, and it does really just mesh with the rest of his kit. So, yeah, definitely some good stuff here. Oh, that damage. And then they had to show off here. Jeez, okay. Always the show-off Alm. Okay, well, there we go. So that is going to be the Brave Echoes Heroes. Their banner coming in just 2 days, so prepare your orbs. All right, so as far as evaluating them as a whole, as far as what they bring to the table, their kit, Micaiah definitely has a lot of really unique stuff. As far as her weapon, her unique skill, as well as inheritable skills, I've got to say. They gave her a lot of awesome stuff. Alm as well, he has, again, he a little bit behind the 8 ball in terms of just being an infantry sword user, but I gotta say, just the fact that if Senscale does what we think it does, that really is something that's new in the game, really reaching true damage levels that we've never seen before. I mean, if that's the case, you don't even have to really think of him as an infantry sword unit. You can kind of just think of him as an infantry physical nuke, and he'll just, whatever he touches, he'll destroy, no matter what their defensive stat is. Camilla has an exceptionally rare movement and weapon combination. Her innate staff, her unique staff, is something that doesn't do anything especially new, I would say, as far as the game is concerned as a whole, but it does what it does exceptionally well. As far as the rest of her kit is concerned, she's kind of pigeonholed into certain skills, and so unfortunately, I think they could have made her skill set or her default kit a little bit better, just in terms of the C slot specifically, I would say. And then on the back end here, we've got Eliwood. He has the dual effectiveness on his weapon. He has some unique skills, but all the same, like Camilla, we're not seeing anything really new from Eliwood here, and he has the ruse skills, which are just kind of okay, I would say. Along with the rally assist, which it really just isn't anything special. So he has the opening skill, which we've certainly seen before, but again, not the most common of skills that are out there. So should you pull on this banner? I'm a little bit torn on the answer, and the reason why is because these are all amazing units. They're all excellent units that would be pure assets in your barracks, no matter what. If you got any one of these, you could utilize them, and they would do great things for you on the battlefield. So the reason why I'm hesitating is, one, you get your pick of the litter. You get one free copy of any one of these units of your choice with neutral attack and flaw. And honestly, in a lot of instances, that may be enough to carry you. If you're not going to go for emerges or go heavy for these characters, you just want a copy for posterity, for collection, or just to kind of carry you with free-to-play guides, that might be all you need. And the fact of the matter is that these aren't legendary heroes, and they're not special heroes, meaning they're not seasonal. So they are going to be in the general pool after this banner leaves, which means they can pity break you. You're going to see them on legendary hero banners all the time, probably. If Brave Hector is any indication, we will be seeing these characters make appearances on legendary hero banners, as well as just random skill banners, like 3-person banners and 4-person banners. So, you have time. And then potentially there's also the element of these heroes potentially going on a Hero Fest during like Golden Week or something like that, in which case they'll have an even improved rate. Now, I will say in the case of Golden Week, I think Golden Week in Japan is in April. I want to say it's in April. So obviously that's a pretty big distance away. So if you wanted to invest in these characters early on, you obviously don't want to wait until Golden Week. But maybe you don't need those merges right now. And let's say that you're eyeballing these units and you really just want 2 of them specifically. Let's say that you want the 2 flyers. You want Micaiah and Camilla. Your strategy may be to go in on this banner and pull on Colorless and Blue, and pull on Colorless and Blue and snipe those colors until you pull one of these 2, and then use your free pick for the other one. So again, there are a lot of elements here and a lot of reasons to not go in hard on this banner, and none of those have to do with the power levels of the units themselves. The characters are strong, they look great, they look powerful, they bring a lot to the table, they can greatly enhance the teams that you have as they are. The question is whether or not you need them right now. I think there are really 3 main reasons why you would be going in on this banner. One is the example that I said earlier, where you want like 2 of the characters, at least 1 copy of 2 of the characters, and that's why you're going to snipe on 2 colors and then grab the other one for free. The other reason might be you want all of these characters, and if you want all of these characters, this is going to be one of the best chances to get all of these characters at once. That means that you are not going to be color sniping at all, and you're going to be pulling on every single color that pops up. It's a little bit dangerous, probably going to be a little bit expensive as far as your orb currency is, your orb count is concerned. But this will be an efficient banner to do that if you actually want all of these characters right up front. And then, of course, the third reason is if you're going for a high merge on any of these characters in particular right now. We don't know when they're going to be making another appearance. It probably won't be too far along, but this is a great opportunity to jump in and get a head start and get multiple copies as it is. And as many of you probably know, I have a personal vested interest in this because I run Camilla Emblem to do my clears on the channel all the time on all of the different Abyssal level challenges and maps and other things that sort of crop up. So for me personally, getting a +10 Brave Camilla is a high priority. So I will be going in, despite all the things that I just said, I will be going in very hard on this banner. I will be spending a lot of orbs. If you are interested in seeing that, make sure to keep tabs on the channel, subscribe so you'll get notified for when that video goes up. It's going to go up shortly after the banner actually goes up, but so let me know in the comments below how excited you are for these characters. If, despite all of those things, you're going to be going in hard on this banner, if you're going to be passing and just taking your free pick, if you're going to be going or sniping in for 2 characters, let me know what your strategy is going to be. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, taking some time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.